Hello everyone, my name is Brayden, this is Airless Cool 9, and in today's video we're going to talk about the Spellfire Sorcery Sorcerer. This is a new subclass presented here in Unearthed Arcana, Forgotten Realms Subclasses, which came out last week. So we're going to talk about this particular subclass, and I'll give you my thoughts on it as we look through it. So this particular sorcerer uses the raw power of magic itself, the weave, and manifests it as a rare ability known as Spellfire, which is a talent that allows them to heal allies, sear enemies, and absorb powerful spells. In the Forgotten Realms setting, I believe Spellfire is a power given to Chosen of Mystra. So it is a pretty unique option here. So let's talk about what Spellfire gives you, because there's some pretty good abilities here. So at level 3 we get Spellfire Burst. We're going to be using blue as an indicator of what we like, and we'll do red as an indicator of what we don't like. So Spellfire Burst says when you use at least one sorcery point as part of the magic action or a bonus action on your turn, you can unleash one of the following magical effects of your choice. You can do so only once per turn. So the options that we have available to us are Bolstering Flames and Radiant Fire. Bolstering Flames says you or one creature you can see within 30 feet of you or of yourself gains temporary hit points. Temporary hit points equal to 1d4 plus your charisma modifier. This isn't a whole lot here, but at 3rd level, it's a decent boost. And this is a benefit that you're granting whenever you spend a sorcery point. So it is as part of this magic action or bonus action, and is not something that is expending any type of actions. It is just a free feature that you're getting on the same turn. So this is a tiny little benefit that you're able to throw around on your turn, which is pretty great. The other option that we have here is Radiant Fire, which is one creature that you can see within 30 feet of yourself must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC, or take 1d6 fire or radiant damage, your choice. So yeah, there's some pretty decent options here. Granted, this is also a tiny bit of damage, but not a whole lot of creatures are well versed in dexterity saving throws, and this is against your spell save DC, so that's also good. It is a save or suck, so you either take the damage or you don't, but it is a varying type. So fire is resisted by some creatures, and radiant is less resisted by a lot of creatures. So good option here. You can either deal some extra damage when you spend a sorcery point on your turn, or bolster with some temporary hit points on your turn. So some pretty decent options here. I like what this does so far. All right, so at level 3 we get Spellfire spells. These are additional spells that we always have prepared. So at level 3 we get Cure Wounds, which is pretty great because all healing spells were buffed in 2024. Guiding Bolt is a pretty great spell. It's 4d6 radiant damage and it has a range of 120 feet, so that's a really good spell. Lesser Restoration also got buffed. It is now a bonus action to cast, so a pretty good option to have available here. And Lesser Restoration will end some pretty debilitating conditions as well. So it's nice to have in your particular repertoire. The conditions that ends are C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, Lesser Restoration. Oh, here it is. It ends the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned condition. So all good conditions that you might want to end on your turn. And like I said, it's a bonus action to cast, so pretty easy to do. And then you still have your action to cast a cantrip on your turn. So pretty good option to have. Scorching Ray is one of the most damaging second level spells available, so that is a really good option there. Aura Vitality, good healing option. Dispel Magic is always good. Fire Shield and Wall of Fire. Fire Shield is a defensive buff. Wall of Fire is just a damaging one. Greater Restoration, there we have the opposite version. And then Flame Strike has gotten buffed as well. It is now 5d5 fire and 5d6 radiant damage in a cylinder. And both the fire and radiant damage increase by 1d6 when you cast at higher levels. So Fire Strike is pretty good and scales very well now. So pretty decent spell list here, if I do say so myself. It is a nice mix of healing and radiant and fire spells. So I like what we have been given here because it does fit the theme that they're going for. Absorb spells. Now this is a really cool feature here at level 6. So we always have the counter spell prepared, which is great. And then additionally, whenever a target fails the saving throw against a counterspell you cast, you regain 1d4 sorcery points. This is really cool. So you have a way to regain sorcery points whenever you successfully counterspell a spell. I don't know how often you might counterspell a spell, but it's really cool that we're getting back sorcery points. We are essentially absorbing magic into ourselves to rebolster our amount of sorcery points. And really, this should say you regain 1d4 expended sorcery points. So I should make a note of that in the survey when that becomes available. At level 14, we gained Honed Spellfire. So this improves our Spellfire Burst feature, which was this feature, which is nice. So you add your sorcerer level to the amount of temporary hit points gained from bolstering flames. So this really increases the amount of temporary hit points granted from that feature. In fact, that might be too much, but I might honestly go to half your sorcerer level, considering, because that's when you get this, that's your 14th level. So that's 1d4 plus your charisma modifier plus 14. That's a lot of temporary HP gained from just spending a sorcery point. And then additionally, the 1d6 radiant fire increases to 3d6. So it has gotten a damage boost. So not as low as it was. So 3d6 is a decent increase for that. Obviously, I still think Bolstering Flames is the best option here. But it is nice to have a damaging option as a backup. And then finally, at level 18, we get Crown of Spellfire. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 1 minute. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Unless you spend 7 sorcery points. No action required to restore use of it. So, here's what benefits this feature grants us. So for 1 minute, we have the following 3 features. We have Burning Life Force. Once per turn, when you are hit by an attack roll, you can expend a number of hit dice up to a maximum equal to your Charisma modifier. Roll the expended dice and reduce the amount of damage from that attack equal to the total rolled, plus your sorcerer level. So that is going to be a decent amount, potentially. Because your sorcerer level is 18. So you could potentially only spend 1 hit die and reduce the damage that you take by an amount equal to 18 plus 1d6. So potential 24 to 19 damage reduction, which is pretty great. So I do like this ability. And you can spend up multiple hit dice if you need to. But if I was using this feature, I'd probably only spend 1 per turn. Flight. You gain a fly speed of 60 feet. And you can hover. And hovering is really good, because it keeps you in the air when you're affected by certain conditions, which I like a lot. Spell Avoidance. When you're subjected to a spell or magical effect that allows you to make a saving throw to take only half damage, you instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw, and only half damage if you fail. You can't use this benefit if you have the incapacitated condition. So, this is also really good. So, I will say, overall, I don't believe there's really anything that's missing the mark in this particular spell or this particular subclass. If anything, I feel like the subclass is going to get nerfed. Potentially, I could see the amount of sorcery points regained from level 6 ending up becoming maybe less, potentially. I will think they definitely will add in expended. Because I think they should have done that. I don't know if the way that the subclass or the class is now worded, if that's a non-necessary thing. Looking particularly, let's see, or maybe they don't care. if it's unexpended, which is another potential, which would be pretty good. Hone Spellfire, I like that this improves Spellfire Burst. I think they may reduce this to half your Sorcerer level, potentially. And then I don't know if Radiant Fire really needs a change. I don't think they will change it. I don't think it's bad, and I don't necessarily think it needs a boost. Yeah. Overall, I don't really see a whole lot of things that I would change with this particular subclass. I think it's in a pretty good spot. I think it fits the flavor that it is going for. And yeah, I don't see any bad features here. I feel like this is a necessary amount of sorcery points to spend on this particular feature, just because these are some pretty good benefits. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Spellfire Sorcerer, or Spellfire Sorcery Sorcerer. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this particular video. If you want to see the final subclass in this document, the Blade Singer Wizard, or the revised Blade Singer Wizard, keep an eye out for the next video in this for this document. I believe the survey comes out the day after this video releases. So if you want to give Wizard of the Coast your thoughts on these subclasses, the best way to do so is to fill out that survey, which I will be doing myself. So that is all I have to say about this particular subclass. So keep an eye out for when we talk about the Blade Singer in the next video, and I will catch you all then. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.